Alright folks, welcome to the Critical Focus channel, Tabletop Scania, and today's full reveal and review, I guess, of the new Warband, Gryselle'S Arenai. And I'm gonna take a look at the fighter cards up front. And first up we have the leader, Griselle the Slaughterer. She's a priest. She has 4 wounds, 2 dodge, 4 move initially, will inspire to 5 move. The other stats will stay the same. She has 1 range attack with 3 swords, 2 damage, grievous 1, and it changes to hammers, inspired, and has the combo, but she doesn't have a printed follow-up attack. But there is, I think, 3 or 4 upgrades that have combo in the deck that you can upgrade them with. And she also has the acrobatic keyword, which means that she reduces the damage received by 1 for each dodge in the defense roll. So obviously pretty decent fighter, right? Next up we have Calexis the Silvered Blur. She has 5 move base, 2 dodge. They all are 2 dodge base, so there is a definite power creep here if you compare them to like the old witch elves, right? Which is welcome because they were pretty weak, although some people make them work. It is a bit of a masochistic task to make them work. She's 5 move base, 2 dodge, inspires to 6 move. Grimwatch Bat, crazy move there. She's 1 range, 2 swords, 1 damage attack, so that's pretty underwhelming. But she does have the combo keyword and also has the blur keyword, which means that after this fighter's attack roll, you get to react, and then you roll 1 extra dice for each success you rolled, including critical successes, and add these to the roll. And if you're on plus dice from some plot card or upgrade, that could be really nasty. And she also inspires either by it being the 3rd round, or if you roll 4 more attack dice in this fighter's attack roll. She's 2 life though, so she's kind of frail. The leader, I forgot to say, inspires when she rolls a crit. Then we have Retaria, the Entangler. She has the Glaven Net. She has 4 move, inspires to 5 move. 2 life, 2 dodge, stays on 2 dodge. 2 range, 2 damage, 2 hammers, combo and stagger. And she does inspire, either when it's the 3rd round or when she successfully staggers an enemy fighter. And she has to stagger them with attack. You can't do it with a ploy card, for example. And the attack goes up to 3 hammers, increases in accuracy, but not in damage. And also has the acrobatic keywords like the other fighters. And she is flying inspired. She is flying while charging uninspired, but she's just constantly flying when inspired. And then we have Thriala, the Lash. He's 4 move, inspired 5, 2 dodge, 2 wounds, has the Barb Whip for 2 range, 3 swords, 1 damage with combo, and the follow-up attack, 1 range, 1 hammer, 1 damage, and she inspires when she makes that reactionary attack. Yes, and then the last here will be Traxia the Aegis. She's 4 move, 1 shield, and stays on 1 shield, so actually the worst defense stats of them all. Also 2 wounds, has a 1 range, 3 hammers, 1 damage with combo. It will go up in damage to 2 damage when inspired. And she will inspire when she uses the critical ability, and she has that critical ability on the shield. That's probably the weakest of the inspire mechanic in this warband, because she's only rolling 1 defense die. She needs to roll that crit to get that critical ability going. So when she does roll that crit in defense, it deals 1 damage to an adjacent attacker. Inspired, she deals 2 damage, but she only stays on 1 shield, so she seems like the odd one out here. So a very frail warband, obviously all on 2 wounds compared to the old witches, which had 1 on 3 wounds. The leader on 4 and the rest on 2. Pretty similar, but we have better defensive stats here, so I would still argue that these are strong. They're also, I would say, easier to inspire as well. And then we take a look at the searches. First up we have Storm of Blades. Scores immediately after your warband's 4th or subsequent attack action in the same phase. Does seem hard, but we have fighters with combo. We also have a ploy that makes people do scything. So I would still argue for this warband, it's pretty decent. We don't have to do 4 successful attack, we just have to do 4 attacks. Then we have Ritual Performance. It's a surge hybrid. You score it immediately after friendly fight's attack action if that attack action resulted in a critical hit, or that attack action dealt precisely enough damage to take the target out of action. That's a very strong search. Both are very doable, especially the first one. Then we have Lethal Spectacle. It's a search duel. You score it immediately after friendly fight's attack action if that attack action took the target out of action and one or more of your Warband's flourish gambits were persisting during that attack action. Okay, so we have actually taken a look at the ploy department here. We have 5 out of 10 ploys are flourishes, which are basically like cycle ploys or domain cards or what have you. Asterisms. So this is pretty doable. It's the weakest so far because you need to take someone out of action. The last Witch Elf Warband suffered very much from basically all of the search cards requiring kills. Yeah, kind of bricked search cards there. Then we have Grandstand. It's also a duel. You need to succeed with an attack and 2 or more of your Warband's flourish gambits needs to be persisting. That's a little bit tougher. It's still very doable though. You just have to succeed with an attack, you don't have to kill someone. And then we have Faultless Display. You score it immediately after friendly fight successful attack if the attack roll contains only successes. It's pretty decent, right? We have a couple of follow-up attacks that's like 1 hammer and you should be able to do it. It's basically the same as Unequal Contest, right? Then we have Acrobatic Assault. It's a duel. You score it immediately after friendly's fight's activation if that fighter moved through an enemy fighter's hex in that activation step and made a successful attack action that targeted that enemy fighter in that activation step. Also fairly doable. We have a flying on one of the fighters and we have, I think, a flourish that lets us fly as well. So it's doable. So they all seem scoreable. Let's take a look at the end phase cards. We have Blood on the Sands. Scored in an end phase if 1 or more friendly fights are within 1 hex of 1 or more enemy fighters with 1 or more wound counters. That should be doable, right? You also need to be not in your territory, but No Man's Land qualifies. It's just 1 glory though. Bloody Show. What a bloody show. Scores in an end phase if each surviving enemy fighter has 1 or more wound counters. I mean, it seems hard, but if you play a 3 or 4 man warband, it's certainly not unscorable, but it's risky to take it to a competition, especially if you end up meeting something that like raises fighters. You're not going to be able to score it. Then we have Exalt in Violence, 1 glory for 2 or more surviving friendly fighters to be inspired. Kind of a boring card, but it's probably very doable. Then we have Hakoron Hurricane. It's a hybrid. You score it if 3 or more friendly fighters are in enemy territory or each surviving friendly fighter is inspired. It's an auto score in the 3rd end phase, right? So it's, yeah, it seems pretty okay, to be fair. Then we have In Praise of Cain for 3 glory. You score it if each surviving fighter has 1 or more charge tokens and or 1 or more wound counters. This is a bit tough for each surviving fighter, so both friendly and enemy fighters. It seems tempting for 3 glory. I mean, if you kill them, it's not a problem. Yeah, I'm dubious. It's very matchup dependent. Then we have Warrior Faithful. Scores in an end phase if each surviving friendly fighter has 1 or more charge tokens and or is adjacent to 1 or more enemy fighter. That should be doable, but it's just 1 glory, so you could probably take something better. Then we have the ploys. Let's start with Unquenchable Fervor. The next time a friendly fighter dealt damage, reduce that damage by 2 to minimum 1. Persists until the end of the phase or until damage is reduced in this way. Yeah, that's pretty nice, right? Kind of need damage reduction here. We're very frail. Spinning Flourish. Friendly fighters range 1 attack actions are not considered a combo. Friendly fighters range 1 attack actions have Scything. This effect persists until the end of the phase or until after friendly fighters have Scything super action in which 1 or more attack actions succeed. Helps you score that 4 attacks in a round card, right? Paean of Slaughter. I have no idea what Paean means, but you can reroll 1 attack dice in the attack rolls for friendly fighters attack actions in the next activation step. But you have to have the leader alive to play this card. Reroll 1 attack dice. It's not amazing. But it's for more than 1 attack, I guess. So if you have that Scything thing, you could have rerolls for all of those attacks. Synergize as well, I guess, but it's kind of niche. Then we have Moment of Rapture Reaction. Play this after friendly fights attack action that succeeded. Pick 1, heal 2 that fighter or inspire that fighter. It's pretty nice. Heal 2. I mean, most of our dudes only have 2 wounds, so heal 2 seems a bit excessive. But yeah, on the leader it's pretty good. Leaping Flourish. Friendly fighters cannot make attack actions other than during charge super actions. Friendly fighters have the flying trait, so that helps score that flying card, moving through enemy fighters. It persists until the end of the phase or until a friendly fight's attack action succeeds. And then we have Gaudy Reward, reaction played after friendly fight's attack action that succeeded. If one or more of your Warband's flourish gambits were persisting during that action, gain 1 spent glory point. We have a similar card with the old Witch Elf. You get extra glory if you... I don't remember, but there's something with spent glory at least. It's pretty nice, right? And then we have Frenzy Speed, +2 move to the first friendly fighter to make a move action in the next activation step. And it doesn't specify that you can't do his charge, because the charge is a move, so it's pretty nice. And then we have Fatal Flourish, after friendly fight's attack action that fail, deal 1 damage to the attacker, ouch. +1 damage to the friendly fight's range 1 and range 2 attack actions. This is persists until the end of the phase or until the friendly fight's attack action succeeds. It's pretty nice. I mean, 1 damage is kind of not a big deal. We only have 2 wounds, so we can as well have 1 wound, right? Executioner's Flourish. Friendly fighters' attack actions that target a fighter with no wound counters have the crit dice characteristic. Ouch, that's not very good. Friendly fighters' attack actions have Grievous 1. I don't think that payoff is very good. Only hitting on crits. Sure, we have Grievous, but that could leave us... I mean, we will roll crits, but it could leave us with just 1 success, which is dangerous. I don't really like that. Daring Flourish, -1 defense from friendly fighters, +1 dice to range 1 and 2. Persist until the end of the phase, or until the friendly fight's attack action succeeds. Yeah. I mean, if you do it leading up to your activation, it doesn't hurt really. It's pretty okay. Nothing extremely good. I'm not super impressed. Then we have the upgrades. Blood Sigil, -1 damage from attack action that target this fighter. There is no range restriction here, which I am very glad to see. There are many similar cards that have like minus from adjacent attacks, but this is a strong one. Then we have Devotee of Slaughter, +1 wound, but not for the leader. That's pretty welcome, right? Then we have Devotee of the Blade. This fighter's defense characteristic is Shield. This fighter's range 1 and range 2 have Cleave. Not really amazing. Gore Drenched. This fighter's on guard, while this fighter's adjacent to 1 or more enemy fights with 1 or more wound counters. On 2 dodge, that guard could be pretty decent, right? It's pretty situational. Then we have Criplash. Not sure how to pronounce it. 2 range, 2 swords, 1 damage and snare. Reaction after this fighter's attack action with combo make this attack action. Yeah, we need a couple of combos attack. This is not an amazing attack, but yeah. Then we have a similar thing with Lacerating Blow. 1 range, 2 hammers, 1 damage with Grievous 1. That's more like it. Then we have Mistress of the Blade Storm. That's restricted to the leader. Your Warband's persisting Flourish Gambits are not discarded at the end of the phase. At the start of the round, add up to 2 Flourish Gambits from your power discard pile to your hand. Yeah, but they are still discarded if you fulfill the first requirement of the Flourish. But then the ability to pick up the 2 Flourish Gambits from the discard pile is pretty nice. Then we have Paragon of the Arena, reaction after the declare attack action, step of this fighter's range 1 or 2. You pick one, either you give a guard token or you get +1 dice to attack actions until it's resolved, or +1 damage to the attack action until it's resolved. That's pretty nice, very versatile. And then we have another combo attack here, 2 range, 2 swords, 1 damage to cleave. Yeah. 2 swords is pretty bad. Then we have Star Performer. While this fighter is inspired, rolls of swords and hammers on successes. That could be very useful when combining with it, like double attacks. That's very, very good. So, summing it up, it will be stronger than the old Witch Elves because there's more passive glory. You don't really need to kill stuff as much. Still need to make a lot of attacks because most surges revolve around making attacks, but they don't necessarily evolve around killing stuff. So I'm cautiously positive. I think it would be like a fun middle of the road Warband. It's probably gonna do decently well, especially in a good player's hand, I guess. So, that's it, folk. Yeah. So make sure to like the video, hit that bell button, leave a comment and subscribe as well if you enjoy this kind of ramblings. Yeah, take care. Bye.